Charleston Southern head coach Gabe Giardina, team coming off a loss at William and Mary this past week. They're back home. They have South Carolina State and non-conference action on Saturday night on ESPN Plus. So, Coach, just some thoughts about your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, I really I thought our mindset in the game, our energy throughout the game was actually exceptional. I thought we did some positive things and just to look in our players' eyes, but also just their kind of mental fortitude, to finish was excellent. So really proud of our mindset in that respect. I thought we played really, 30 great minutes of football. We're there. It really should be 7-7 going into halftime. They get the score there, due to some, we're just going to call them circumstances at best there, which not happy about at all. So we go in and feel pretty good about it. And then, we had the fumble on the first drive of the second half and still trying to process that one. But bottom line is we got to take care of the football. We got to hand the ball to the official after every play. And we got to get off the field on third downs. We just did not do that very well in the second half. I feel like we're missing, about 15 to 20 plays on offense because of the 2 turnovers there. And if we do that, we're right there in it against a very good team and a very good program who's been a very good program for a long time. And Mike obviously does a tremendous job, and they obviously made us pay for our mistakes.
Does the team feel that frustration that those things you just said, like very close, and if you do those things, you're going to be right in ball games going forward?
Yeah, I think we have gotten. I was just it really challenged the team to get off the emotional roller coaster last week, and to kind of make our our angle of our getting better to start climbing, and I thought they did it. It was great, and we never lost our cool. We never lost our poise. We just kept competing in the game. That's why we got the big 4th down, but we had to stop them 5 times. We stopped them 5 times from the 1-yard line. A team with no character and no toughness, we're just going to let them in at that point. And we stopped them 5 times in a row. Our guys are competing hard to the end. Obviously, we're a little more beat up than we want to be at this time of the year. But it's good to see a bunch of guys step up and play quality snaps and play the right way.
I want to ask you about a few players. Steve Zalkowski was our defensive player of the week, 19 tackles, which tied an association single game record, second most by a D1 player this year. It's not anything new, right? He seems to be everywhere sometimes.
Yeah, Steve is hard to keep off the field. He plays on our special teams as well. He's a captain on our team. Doggone, he forces, I think, a fumble in the second half as well. He just, he's everywhere. He's not a big guy, but man, he's got a big heart. He plays fundamentally sound. He gets off of blocks. He knows what to do. There's a reason he's so productive. He's obsessed. He takes care of his body, and really is one of our, guys at that linebacker level. That's a quarterback of our defense.
And then I want to ask you about Hakeem Waters, a freshman, 119 rushing yards, 9.2 yards per carry for him.
Yeah, I just want him to hold on to the football there. Man, he's a super young man. He's a good person, and he's super talented. But it's a credit to our offensive line. We rushed the ball half as many times as they did. I think we rushed it 27 times. They ran it 51, and we outgained them. We rushed it for 6 yards a carry. You don't get anywhere running the ball by yourself. It takes a group of people. So I'm pleased with our how the offensive line is playing, and that's a stout William and Mary front. I mean, one of their linebackers, I think, was like leading the top 5 in the country, or maybe leading the country in tackles. It's not like we were doing that against little sisters of the poor out there.
And 5.7 yards per carry for your team as well, which was 2.6 more than what they averaged.
Yeah, I mean, it just, we're doing a good job, I think, stopping the run on defense. We got to, do better in the passing game. And we just got to get off the field on third down. We got to get off the field. We got to tackle a little bit better. But, part of that is, hey, let's keep the ball on offense. Those missing 15 plays, we played 85, I think, snaps on defense. And, if we've got 15 more snaps on offense, that's 15 less opportunities for us to be out there and not, so we play better on defense the less plays we play. That's not just Charleston Southern. That's everybody that puts pads on every Saturday.
Let's talk about South Carolina State and an opponent. I believe you all played 8 times before. They've won all 8 games. They're coming off a FBS game with USF, and they've also played South Carolina. So they've seen it too. What have you seen from them?
Well, they play a very tough schedule. Known Coach Barry a long time, going back to our D2 days where we used to get to compete against each other. He's a great football coach. Number one, teams are always tough and hard nosed, but Coach Barry's even a better person. I'm not saying my son's is going to be a football player, but man, I'd sure like him to play for a guy like Coach Barry, and just got a lot of respect for him and what he does with his program. And they're a tough football team. They're big. They're physical. They got 2 good quarterbacks, and they play a lot of guys on defense. They roll those D linemen, keep them fresh, and they're all very productive. So should be a fun environment, I think. Being here with 2 teams, about 35 miles apart. I think this will be it's already sold out. We still have standing room only seats available. So get up under one of these palmetto trees here and bring your family and watch a game. But should be a lot of fun.
They had 55 points the game earlier this year. Do you expect is that normal? Are they a high scoring offense, or is this a matter of the game they were kind of in that contest?
No, I mean, Bethune's good. You know what I'm saying? They kind of got into a shootout with them. And I mean, they go right down the field on South Florida the very first drive. I mean, it's like 8 yards here, 6 yards here, 4 yards there, 12 yards here. And then just unfortunately have kind of have throw a pick that turns into a long touchdown. But I mean, they're pushing those guys around, going right down the field, doing what they want. So, I think offensively, a lot of weapons. They play a bunch of different receivers, and they got kind of got like a backfield, kind of like we do. They got 4 or 5 guys that they play, and they've all done good things at good times. And so this will be a fun matchup.
And then I should have asked this before that one. You said, a team that's nearby. You played Coastal too. William and Mary's not that far away. You've found non-conference teams that are close to you. Is there some added, excitement between both you and South Carolina State's fan bases that, it's a game that it's home for you, but they can easily get to just playing somebody that's nearby. It's good.
I think it's very fan friendly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure we have a lot of or they have a lot of grads that live here in the Charleston area. And so I think it'll be fun for just all the alumni involved with both of the schools. And I think certainly great for every business around here. You know what I'm saying? This is a nice little economic boost here to the North Charleston, Hanahan, Goose Creek area, which is awesome. And I mean, who doesn't like college football games against teams that play, close in proximity? You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of the special deal of being a college program and having folks, come to the game that, are invested in both teams.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time as always. Best of luck this weekend. We'll talk to you again next Tuesday.
All right. Thanks, Kyle. Appreciate it.